John McLeese on Bold Radio Experts from 680 CJOB. Sometimes in life you just need some good advice. No one is an expert at absolutely everything. That's why we're proud to present the Bold Radio Experts series, where we welcome a qualified and experienced individual to offer sound advice on an aspect of running a business. Our guest today is a highly qualified financial expert. We're very pleased to be joined by Matt Neufeld, Corporate Account Manager at Steinbach Credit Union. Matt's going to bring his expertise today on the subject of creating a business plan. First comes the light bulb, a great idea and a moment of inspiration that will lead to something big. But it's very important to create that next step, to create the plan, especially if you're looking for support from the bank. Welcome, Matt, to the program.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. Why a business plan? Why is a business plan important?
It's a great idea. Well, when you have a great idea, you got to put it on paper. And in order to clearly lay out your thoughts for yourself and others, you have to create a business plan. The intent of the plan is to firstly ensure you have a viable business idea, and secondly, to create the steps to make it a reality. It should describe who you are, what you plan to achieve, how you plan to overcome the risks involved, and how you'll make a profit in the end. A business plan can vary in format and scope depending on the type of business that you have, but it should have, at minimum, a few key aspects such as a general overview, analysis of the market and competition, an operating plan, an action plan, and financial projections.
So some key points of what a business plan should include. Mm-hmm. Why do I need a business plan? If I'm coming to you and I'm looking for $100,000 to invest in a new business venture, mm-hmm. and I can articulate it in my head to you, what's the difference between that approach and somebody coming in with a well laid out folder of material that kind of addresses some of the questions that you just told us about?
Well, first I'll give you a statistic here. According to Industry Canada, of all small businesses entering the market, that is of all new businesses between 5 and 100 employees, which pretty much encompasses all new adventures, only 85% last the full year, 70% survive 2 years, and only 51% survive at least 5 years. So there's essentially a 50-50 chance of being a long-term success. But this is business, this isn't chance. Mm-hmm. You can increase your odds. Benjamin Franklin has a great quote, I'm sure you've heard of it, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. So a good business plan should tip the scales in your favor to be one of those 50% that make it, as opposed to one of the 50% that fail. So putting your plan on paper can help you understand the likelihood of your success before you actually become heavily invested into it. And once that plan is on paper, you can easily send the plan to others for second opinions or to a financial institution or investors for funding. And you can go back to your plan after you've started the business to ensure you stay on track to meet your goals.
There are various different components in the business plan. You talked a little bit about them. Mm-hmm. But, if my business is a very small, simplistic business, how big does my business plan need to be? Like, how much relevant time and effort should I be spending on my business plan? Should it be based on the size of my business? Should it be based on the amount of money I'm looking from an institution mm-hmm. to invest in my business? Give us some ideas on that.
It depends on the complexity of the business. Some business plans can be very short, some can be very long. And some people would say, my business idea is simple. I don't necessarily need one. And that's the number one reason that I get when somebody objects to providing one. But anybody can set up a corporation and call yourself and say you're in business. You don't absolutely need one, but you need that plan to ensure that you're going to be successful. I've heard, my business is simple. Other excuses that your business is too small, that you don't need a business plan. And I believe that's rarely the case, that your business is too small, that you don't need one. No matter the size of the business, large or small, you want to maximize your profits. So a large business venture will definitely do a business plan or a strategic plan or feasibility study, all the same thing. Although it's essentially the same thing. They do the plan because they want to make sure it's a good idea and that it's profitable.
What is the Steinbach Credit Union, or you particularly as a corporate account manager, what are you looking for when somebody comes asking for funds to mm-hmm. get into their business? What exactly are you looking for?
A few things. The first thing I'm looking for is realistic projections. Anybody can put numbers on paper and make something look good, but unrealistic projections only hurt yourself and make you lose credibility with your bank. I'm also looking for weaknesses and threats that you may face in your business plan. Mm-hmm. Could also be called a SWOT analysis, which is an acronym for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. All business plans are started based on an opportunity and your strength, but it's the weaknesses and threats that could derail your business. But you can't predict all the issues, but you want to get in front of the ones that you can and make a plan to either mitigate those risks or look at them and determine the odds of them happening and determine if that risk is acceptable for your new venture.
Matt Neufeld is the corporate account manager at Steinbach Credit Union, and it's Bold Radio Experts. We're talking about writing of a business plan. I'm sure that there's a lot of listeners that are saying, I've never written a business plan before. I don't even know where to start. I don't know how to do it. What would you recommend?
Ask your account manager. Or if you don't have one, you can call the Steinbach Credit Union to set up an appointment with one of us. We have a number of small business, corporate, and agricultural account managers, and someone will have time for you. And this account manager will want to be involved early so that we can discuss in more detail what we're looking for. And we could also give an early indicator of our ability to finance you and what the financing structure might look like.
You're looking for details in the business plan? Are you looking for kind of some projections, as you mentioned before? Mm-hmm. How far out? 2, 3 years, 5 years? What would you recommend?
It depends on the type of business. 3 to 5 years. It depends on what you're expecting in the first year or two. One of the things I'm also looking for in a business plan is projected losses. And businesses almost never make money the first year, sometimes even the first 2 years. So I want to see those. And any investor or bank wants to know this to be able to give you the right amount of capital up front so that in a year into your business, you're not going to be sitting there as a business owner focusing on trying to get more money instead of focusing on growing your business is that's what you should be spending your time on.
If people want more information on the Steinbach Credit Union, what's your website?
www.scu.mb.ca.
There it is. That's
Steinbach
correct.
Credit Union in Google will find us for sure.
Exactly. Steinbach Credit Union Google, but that's the exact one. It's Matt Neufeld with the Steinbach Credit Union. If you want to talk about a business plan, he's your expert. And we thank you for joining us today, Matt.
Thank you.
Bold Experts.